passed down from year to year. Oh, oh, oh. Open up your vision. Open up the Lord, Lord, and remember you're an Israelite. Oh, vision, Mother Covenant.
Testing, testing, one, two. We're trying to correct the matter as far as this music is concerned. Coming on without request. But if you know what's going on, you know we're not confused about anything. And let me apologize for the um, interruptions as far as this music interfering with the preamble of the show for tonight. As I said, a lot of people may suspect Yom Sufal Reed, Brother Katria, Brother Yuccanan, the son, y'all think y'all Jews. No, we don't think we're anything. We're certainly not Jews, which is the derivative of the word Yehudite. Judah, the tribe of Judah. And that is not representative of a nation, which are Israelite, Hebrew Israelites. That's what we are. That's what you are if you don't even suspect that you are. If you look anything remotely like we do. You may be a Hamite because they were brought into captivity right along with Medaram because of us looking to them for affection. And certainly in most cases, you're a Hebrew Israelite. If you look at anything remotely like Yam Sufari, Lasanya Katri, and Brother Yochanan and his lovely Isha. So no, we're not Jews simply by playing that music. As I said, that word in itself is the derivative of the word of Yehudite. It is not representative of the whole nation of Israel, which encompasses 13 tribes. Okay, Reuben, Simeon, Naphtali, Manasseh, and so on and so forth. And so, and Brother Katria is going to answer that in his studies for the night. His studies are going to the book of Obadiah. It will give you some representation of our brothers. You know, Isaac's wife had two nations within her womb. And the young brother was accorded the heritage, which Hebrew Israelites. And the other brother, who sold his birthright for some food, always wanted his position back. He conspired with everybody to get what he thought his position back, his heritage. But it was given to Yaqub. And so, be that as it may, we have been enlightened in these studies to bring to you the word of Yah. And also, in regards to that, and related to that, is this. The Most High is the Elohim of all nations, and certainly the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaqub. And in that respect, we were all taken into captivity. Our brother Esau, which is Edom, Brother Cosgrave is going to study that in the book of Obadiah. And also, we suspect, along with Edom, there are derivatives of that, such as the Greeks and our Romans, that supposedly supposed to be representing us in our homeland. Our brother has always conspired against us. He's went to war against us. Every force that came along, they joined forces to go against us. A conspiracy is just simply not to conspire against someone. A conspiracy encompasses a total destruction and wiping out of someone. In the case of our brother Esau. And a conspiracy is not a one-dimensional situation. A conspiracy is an ongoing conspiracy. It doesn't stop till our caskets drop, so to speak. So if you're saying, Yamsu, you talking crazy. No, I'm not talking crazy. The evidence speaks for itself. The people that are relative to the people that were taken into captivity look exactly like we do. Because, truth be told, how can you leave somewhere brown and dark and beautiful and come back white? I'm trying to figure that one out. I'm trying to put that together when this region produces people of dark hue. I'm trying to figure that one out. And you should ponder upon it. And also, the evidence speaks for itself in this regard. In regards to our people has had a curse put upon it, where we love to mistreat, abuse, dominate, and sometimes kill one another. So when you turn on the local station and they say, so-called black man killed another black man, killed 4 or 5, and trying to kill some more. Don't be surprised. And you know why? That's part of the curse. But what you should be doing is what we're doing, turning back to the Most High, crying out to the Most High for the mistakes our ancient made that got us in the situation we find ourselves in, and gathering ourselves together. And no, I'm not talking about gathering together for the wrong reason, under the wrong auspices. I'm not talking about gathering together, have a picnic, a party, a block party, because it's going to look relatively ugly. Because when we don't have the Most High on our side and guiding us, we're going to be on fool's paradise, stiff-necked and stubborn. And it's true. And the evidence speaks for itself. I'm talking about gathering yourselves together under the mandates and auspices of the Most High in a humble gathering. Also, along with that, don't simply gather together for the sake of gathering oneself together. Gather together to do something in a constructive manner. And also, it's in regards to part of the mandate, do something good for your widow women. Do something good for your orphans. Do something good for your needy and your homeless. Simply say it, learn to do good. Y'all ain't told you to go to war with nobody. Y'all ain't told you to play like you King David. Y'all gave you a mandate to follow. Study his word, rely on his word, meditate on his word, let his footstep be your pathway by virtue of those said words, and keep it moving. A lot of us, when we wake up and find out we're Hebrew Israelites, suddenly, I'm something special. I want to be like King David. I'm something special. I want to be like Queen Esther. Now, what you need to be like is a humble brother and a sister who's under subjection of your elders and leading you in the right direction and keeping your mouths closed on food books or any other apparatus. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. Also, along with that, a lot of you said, Yamsu, what you saying? I'm saying, in simple terms, you have been socially engineered and conditioned to be a mockery. No one we got some good things going on for ourselves, but no one is beating a pathway to our doorways just simply for the sake, I think I'm something special. You got to do something special in regards to your people, in regards to your LOM. That's the specialness that you got to exude as far as the Most High is concerned, and then let the Most High do the rest. And we're honored to bring to you these studies, some perspective on our people, and a finger on our enemies. So, I want to thank the Most High for the opportunity to study with you on the Real Talk for Real People Study Show. I am humbly honored. I want to thank the Most High for my Esau sister Nasanya, who administrates this show. I want to thank the Most High for my brother, dear friend, and fellow elder, and elder on the council, for helping produce and bring this show to your attention. I want to thank Brother Yochanan and his lovely Esau for helping support the nation by virtue of them simply being here and making their commentaries and showing their love for the nation. And this is how this show will proceed. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. Once I finish speaking, my Esau's Nasanya, the administrator of the show, will come along and say, how you doing, so to speak? Shalom. Then my dear brother and his lovely Esau, she might not be in yet, will come on and say there, shaloms. And my dear friend and brother, Brother Kaitrio from New York City, will come on and say his, how you doing, or shalom. And then we proceed forth, and I will begin the studies in the second book of Maccabees, chapter 8. Second book of Maccabees, chapter 8. And I suspect that Brother Kaitrio will proceed to the book of Obadiah. Give you some perspective on our brother Yaakov's brother, who has this animosity against us and has conspired against us from our very conception as a nation. And then after the studies are concluded, I will share with you, for those in captivity, the charter of our nation in captivity, and also the constitution of our nation in captivity. A lot of y'all may suspect to yourselves and foolishly so by virtue of lying to yourselves and each other. I ain't no Hebrew Israelite. They said I'm an N-word. They said I'm a pickaninny. They said I'm a so-called black, which is a misdemeanor. How can you be so-called black and that's a color? And how can you be a so-called black American when that's a negative connotation? Black in America. Yeah, how you black or void in America? Well, there may be some truth to that. Void in America. See, that's where these studies are very essential for us as a nation. It rejuvenizes, it informs us, it enlightens us, and it keeps us in formation. So a lot of you brothers, young brothers and sisters out there running your mouths off, you need to close your mouth and close them now. You need to get into your studies. And a lot of our elders, y'all need to get in y'all studies too. Why? Because your hearts are broken. You think you know the word of the Elohim, but you don't. You have your personal agendas, and that's not going to work. You need to submit yourself to the Most High Word, and you need to humble yourselves. Our ancients should have humbled themselves. Thus, we wouldn't be in the situation we find ourselves in as I speak. And certainly, the evidence speaks for itself. Turn on every local news station. We need to humble ourselves. Praise the Most High and bless His holy name. So, without further ado, Nasanya, you have the mic. May the Most High bless you.
Shalom, shalom, family. All praises to the Holy One of Israel. So happy to be back. So happy to get to learning. I hope everybody's doing well today. Well, this evening, whatever time it is where you at. All praises, guys.
Thank you, Isha. All praises. Thank you. Yochanan, dear brother, and your lovely Isha. She might not be home yet. Yochanan, you have the mic.
Shalom, shalom. We here live in effect. We come to interject.
Okay, my guy. Thank you, brother. Brother Cottrell, may the Most High bless you, my dear friend and brother, fellow elder. Your mic is hot.
Shalom, shalom, family. All praise to the Holy One of Yisrael. Let's shout, oh my soul, and all that's within me. Bless His holy name. Giving all honor and praise to the Holy One of Yisrael, the Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. Most High bless us. Shalom, family. How y'all doing?
We're doing okay, brother. If I can speak for the Nasanya, I said we're doing rather well. Praise to and thanks to the Most High. And thank you for asking. And we share the same sentiments when it comes to you, your Isha, and your family. How y'all doing?
We well. Praise Yah. Give
Praise
thanks.
Yah, brother.
Another
Praise
day of
Yah.
living.
Praise Yah, my brother.
Oh, Yamsu.
What's that, brother? What's that, brother?
Said a mouthful, Ak.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
I know you was all up in my lesson in Obadiah.
Yeah.
Esau was there when the Greeks and the Romans were battling Yehuda. And you asked the question, how could you turn from black to white? Our brother Esau was red, and he intermingled with the Romans and the Greeks. And that's how he became who he is today.
Exactly. My point, brother. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot to what you said. I mean, the music that you played earlier, you're an Israelite. Imagine this. All the Chinese people in the world lost their identity like us. And they're walking around planet Earth talking about their yellow Asiatic Americans. Don't know nothing about China or the history of China. And they talking about their yellow Democrats or yellow this or yellow that. We're the only people on the planet that don't know our identity as Israelites. And our vision has been broken. Y'all took it away. We don't know who we are. And the scripture says, without a vision, the people perish. So we don't have the vision of who we are, what our roots are, what our culture is, which is why we're floundering even more so than the period of the Maccabees, because at least they knew who they were and they had principles to stand on. We're trying to bring back those principles, and it almost seems impossible. But Yah's punishment on us is real. Praise Yah.
Praise God. Thank you, my dear brother and friend. And you're certainly correct. And the evidence speaks for itself, Brother Cottrell. And these so-called Black Americans, bored Americans. What a despicable description of oneself by utilization of a color.
Yep,
What a
we gotta get
marvel.
off that and get back to our roots because we are Yah's treasure. We are holy people. Yah chose us. We special. We are special. You say we look at ourselves and say we something special. No, we are special to Yah, which is why he shows his mercy to us. Praise Yah.
And certainly that's the case, brother. We are special to the Most High. But as far as each other are concerned, without the auspices of the Most High, we become special foods. That's all I'm saying, my brother. That's all I'm saying. Until you get under the control and mandate and formation of the Most High, that's how you're going to look.
And all of us ain't gonna do that. Praise Yah. All of us ain't gonna do it. Some of us will, some of us won't.
That's a sad statement of affairs, brother, but it's true. And the evidence speaks for itself. Yet we love them. We love our brothers and sisters. And it hurts us tremendously. But it is what it is, as my brother alluded to. So without further ado, let us share some information with you. See, the people think that we're studying in some religious book. We're not studying a religion. Yes, the Hebrew Israelites were governed by the Torah and the Most High, but it is not a religion per se as the Roman Catholic Church, which is a derivative of trying to steal something from the Torah. They want to take over by their so-called religion, and religion derived what you call Baptist, Episcopalian, Episcopalian, African, Methodist, so-called, whatnot, all that, those derive from the Roman Catholic Church. We didn't derive from the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church tried to derive itself from us by utilization of the Most High. But we're trying to set things into facts, not fiction, not Greek and Roman mythology. We're trying to set the facts straight on the Real Talk for Real People study show. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. So without further ado, let us get started. Second book of Maccabees, chapter 8. Second book of Maccabees, chapter 8. Now, the books of Maccabees, they have a tendency to go back and forth because as you realize in the first book of Maccabees, Yehudas, not J. We didn't have a word J. So whoever putting J on anybody, how that sound? We had Y. Yehudas. It was, and his brother was done away in the first book of Maccabees. So these things seem to be interspersed between one another, going back and forth. So, you know, the young brothers, 7 were murdered by the Romans and the so-called Greeks and so on and so forth, and their mothers too. But it seems to jump back to Yehudas in this case. Verse 1. Yehudas, otherwise known as Maccabeus, and his companions made their way secretly among the villages, our village, rallying their fellow countrymen. They recruited those who remained loyal to Yehudism. I don't know what that is. So you know the interpreters of our word tried to implement this word because there is no religion called Yehudism. That is a name of a tribe, not a religion. Okay? Let's set the record straight. And it's about 6,000. They call on the Elohim to have regard for the people oppressed on our people, on our sides, in verse 2. To take pity on the temple, profaned by the godless. Verse 3. To have mercy on the city, Jerusalem, now being destroyed, a level to the ground, to hear the blood of the victims that cried out aloud to him. That's how people, the anguish they were going through at that time in the writings of these books. In verse 4, to remember, too, the criminal slaughter of innocent babies and to avenge the blasphemies perpetrated against his name, the Most High. They did everything they could to our ancient ones, just like they did to us in these contemporary times, to take away our lineage, to take away our heritage, to take away our names, to take away our identity, to eradicate who we are. And now they say they love us in these United States of America? No, I think not. And the evidence speaks for itself. And one point I like to make out to you. You remember those strange fruits Lena Horne sung about? And you remember these so-called people that love us in the Democratic Party, Republican Party, and all kind of parties? They were some of the very ones, the descendants of the very ones that stood in them pictures they call picnic pictures, where we was hanging, our women were hanging by trees and lynched and smiling like they were having something just so fabulous. And a lot of us like to figure, oh, y'all gonna forget about all that. Oh, you don't know your name. You don't know who you are. You don't know your identities. And just forget about that too. Why? Because we said so. And we willingly capitulate. Oh, we don't want to know about what Yum Sue said. We don't want to know about what Cottrell said. We don't want to know about what Yakanan said. We don't want to know about what Nisanya said. We don't want to know nothing because we're doing just good being a mockery and a monstrosity, mistreating, abusing, and sometimes killing one another, and not in control of any aspect and a component of our lives. And we don't. The evidence speaks for itself. So in this regards, in verse 5, as soon as Maccabeus Jehudas had an organized force, he at once proved invincible to the foreigners, the Greeks and the Romans. The Elohim's anger had turned into compassion for us. Yes, the Most High had turned his back on us. That's why we've been reduced to this mockery and this monstrosity in regards, first and initially, as far as our ancients are concerned, and reflective of that in the Maccabees. And certainly it was reflective of that in these contemporary universal captivities, which are captured by the last kingdom. The last kingdom, the fourth kingdom, I believe, the last kingdom in charge. It is not a kingdom per se of fixed landmass, but it is a kingdom of a fixed mindset, universal white race supremacy, which controls every aspect and component of your life. World Bank Organization, bingo. World Health Organization, bingo. Combined together with their military power, bingo. And sometimes they fight against one another, bingo. Trying to be the best universal white race supremacy, bingo. And if you get wrong, they're going to get together and they're going to get with you, bingo. It is not a fixed landmass. It is a fixed mindset. So get your information correct. But at that juncture, in ancient times, what Maccabeus was doing, he was trying to fight against this, because this is the first appearance of universal white race supremacy after the other kingdoms had went by, that the Most High had prescribed in the prediction in the book of Daniel. And in verse 6, our brother making surprise attacks on towns and villages, he fired them. He put them to fire. He captured favorable positions and inflicted very heavy losses on the enemy. The enemy ain't your friend. Roman, Republican Party, Democratic Party, all the same side of the same coin. Generally availing himself in the way he did this on the cover of night for such enterprises. The fame of the valor spread far and wide. Verse 8. When Philip this Greek saw Jehudas, our brother, was making steady progress and winning more and more frequent successes, he wrote to Ptolemy, this Greek, the general officer commanding Korea and Syria and Phoenicia, asking for reinforcements in the royal interest, just like to send many more police to our communities and the issues of universal white race supremacy. They send police and more police to our communities. Keep us at bay. But our brothers have been socially engineered and conditioned, and we're confused about everything, and we hate anything that remotely looks like us, and we like to mistreat it, abuse it, and sometimes kill it. That's because of social engineering and our conditioning, don't knowing who you are, what you are, and what you should be doing, and who is your Elohim. So when Philip this Greek saw Jehudas was making steady progress and winning more and more frequent successes, he wrote to Ptolemy, the general officer commanding the general of Korea and Syria and Phoenicia, asking for reinforcement in the royal interest. This is in our best interest. Verse 9, Ptolemy this Greek chose Nicanor, this Greek son of Petrontius, this Greek, one of the king's first friends, and sent him without delay at the head of an international force. They still got international force. A lot of y'all mind is so socially engineered and conditioned. You think in just a one-dimensional term. You think in just a local, international term. No, 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 no. It's an international conspiracy. Has always been an international conspiracy against the chosen nation. At least 20,000 men to exterminate the entire Yehudite race, not Jewish. What is that? As his associate, he appointed Gorgias, this Greek, a professional expert. He put a professional on our ancients, just like they put professionals on us by virtue of everything. Technology, IT, you name it, I call it, they'll put it on us. In verse 10, Nicanor, this Greek, for his part, proposed, and they ain't the first time they sold us. These modern captivity, we've been sold and resold and sold some more and keep being sold. Our minds have been sold. So, and he proposed by the sale of the Yehudite prisoners of war, we're going to put them on the sale block to raise the 10 to 2,000 talents of tribute money owed by the king to the Romans. We owe some money to the Romans, and so we're going to sell these pickaninnies, N-words, and so-called blacks. He lost no time in sending the seaboard towns an invitation to come and buy some Yehudites manpower. Come on, get you some so-called blacks, some pickaninnies, and so on and so forth. Promising delivery of 90 head for 1 talent. They sold us for a low price. But he did not reckon on the judgment from the Almighty. Almighty still loved us even when we are cursed, even when we're in captivity. That was to soon overtake him. When the news reached Jehuda, our brother, of Nicanor's advance, this Greek, he warned his men of the enemy's approach, which we do on the Real Talk for Real People's Show by virtue of these studies. Worried about Donald Trump, you need to worry about the Most High. Whereupon the cowardly ones of those, our brothers and sisters, who lack confidence in the justice of y'all, a lot of cowardly brothers lacking confidence in the Most High, still out there, took to their heels and ran off. I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. I want to be a Democrat. I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. I want to be a Republican. I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. I want to be going along to get along. I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. I want to eat me some pork chop in the morning. I want to eat me some pork chop at night. And I want to poke it on and sometime when I feel like. And if Yamsu say anything about it, the hell with Yamsu Farid. Oh, that sounds pretty though. That's going to work out for me because there's mandates and control of our eating habits, our diet habits. And I suspect that's why a lot of high blood pressure, diabetes, and so on and so forth, they're very prevalent among us as a people per se. Praise Yah. As a result of this, rebelling against the Most High, renegades against the Most High. So, some of our brothers and sisters ran away from the justice of Yah and took that they healed and ran away. In verse 13, they still do. Verse 14, the rest sold all their remaining possession, at the same time praying to the Elohim to deliver them from the godless Nicanor, this godless Greek, who had sold them even in advance of an encounter. He had already put them on the sale block. Even before we had any connection by a form of conspiracy, it was always a foregone conclusion. Sell them Negroes. Isn't that the fact? In verse 15, if not for their own sakes, then at least out of consideration for the covenant made with their ancestors. We did it not only for our sakes, but at least out of consideration for the covenant made with our ancestors. Because we were connected. We didn't forget about it. Because they themselves bore his sacred and majestic name. Just like Nasanya. Just like Yamsuf Arisha. And so on and so forth. Get me? Verse 16.
Maccabees, simply Yehudus, our brother, marshaled his men, who numbered about 6,000. He exhorted them not to be dismayed at the enemy or discouraged at the vast horde of Gentiles, Greeks, wickedly advancing against them, the fourth kingdom, but to fight bravely. And they still are, by way of technology and so on and so forth. Medication, education, you name it, I'll call it. Every aspect of the component, they are advancing against us, our way of life. Verse 17, keeping before their eyes the outrage committed by them against the holy place and the infamous and scornful treatment inflicted on the city, not to mention the destruction of their traditional way of life. That's why you ain't got no name. They were bent on hell to destroy our way of life and to take our name. And some of you are simply sitting here eating buns and cupcakes while watching reality shows while your reality passes you by, taking whatever our enemy says as word. Oh, the enemy says, oh, we need to be good Negroes. Oh, the enemy said we need to be Republicans. Oh, the enemy said we need to be Democrats. Oh, the enemy make way for us to be Black Lives Matter. Oh, the enemy said we need to march in the gay parade. But what is your LOM saying? What are your people saying? And stop lying to yourself and or each other and saying, and don't looking at the evidence. And the evidence speaks for itself in this regard. Look at our young men and young women on local and national TV have become a mockery, a monstrosity, and we simply want to lie to ourselves and on each other. Praise the Most High. Keeping the eyes, in verse 17, the outrage committed by them against the holy place, Israel, in the temple, the infamous and scornful treatment inflicted on the city, Jerusalem, not to mention destruction of our traditional way of life. That's why we ain't got no way, as Contrary alluded to. We don't know who we are, what we should be doing. A total mockery and monstrosity. That's why we call ourselves black, a misdemeanor, a color, associated with a landmass America. Verse 18. They may put their trust in their weapons, in their exports. We don't, and we shouldn't. They said this was just a temporary remedy. They knew that, he said. A temporary remedy, he said. But our confidence is in the Almighty Elohim. Should be, should have been, and it should be in these contemporary times, who is able with a single nod to overthrow both those marching on us and the whole world with them under this conspiracy. The initial advance of the last kingdom, universal white race supremacy. Verse 19, he reminded them of the occasion on which our ancestors had received help. That's what we do on the Real Talk for Real People show. That time, when under Sennacherib of this Babylonian, 185,000 men had perished. They went against us. That time in Babylonia, when the battle with the Galatians and the Yehudites combatants numbered only 8,000, with 4,000 Macedonians, Greeks. Yet when the Macedonians were pressed hard, the Greeks, the 8,000 had destroyed 120,000, thanks to the help they received from the Elohim, Yah, and taking great booty as a result. Verse 21, having so roused their courage by these words that they were ready to die for the laws. Who laws? Our enemy laws? No, our law, our way of life in their country. He then divided the army into four. Put his brother Simeon, Joseph, and Jonathan in command of one division each, assigning them 1,500 men apiece. Next, he ordered Ezra, a well-known priest within our nation at that time, to read the holy book, the scroll, aloud, and to give them the watchful word. This should be our watchful word. Help from the elders. Stop saying, Donald Trump, we need help. Give us our Medicaid back. Give us our food stamp back. The watchword. What is our watchword? Help from Yah. Then putting himself in the head of the first division, he attacked Nicanor, this Greek. Verse 24, with the Almighty, with the Elohim, for that. Not, you don't need no allies. You just need the Most High as your ally. You need to be in formation with the Most High. They slaughtered over 9,000 of the enemies in ancient times, wounded and crippled the greater part of Nicanor, this Greek army, and put them all to flight. Verse 25. The money of their prospective purchase fell into their hand. The folks that want to buy us, they got their money. They got the buyer's money. Our folks got the buyer's money. After pursuing them for a good while, they turned back since time was pressing. Verse 26. It was the eve of the Shabbat. And for that reason, they did not prolong their pursuit. Our people did not prolong their pursuit. Verse 27. Our people, they collected the enemy's weapons, stripped them of all their spoils, and because of the Shabbat, their reasoning, even more heartily blessed and praised the Elohim. They didn't give it to the Democratic Party, Republican Party. They didn't give it to the Black Lives Matter Party. They didn't get it, I am a man, I'm a woman, I'm a man. If you know you're a man, you ain't got to march around with something on your t-shirt, holding a placard, telling your enemy that you're a man. You all know very well you're a man. You know what I mean? Well, I'm a man. You ought to know you're a man. You ought to comport yourself as such. I'm a woman. You ought to know yourself a woman and comport yourself as such. But you know, when you're totally confused about everything and you try to capitulate and comply to your enemies, those are things we have done in these contemporary times. Unlike our brothers in that time. They rest, they divided among themselves and their children. We looked out for our children those times. Not right now, we just throw them out to the woods. Do whatever. Kill each other, mistreat each other, put you some red bandanas on your head, some blue bandanas, some black bandanas, make them all up, all gay together, make them all rainbow, put them all together, and mistreat and kill one another. Don't trust in the Most High. Just claim a block, although you don't claim a brick on the block, and pretend that you're running something, although you don't run anything, because they can shut you down whenever they get ready. And you're not even in your own land. Then they join in public supplication. See, we need to learn to humble ourselves. That's part of our dilemma right there. These brothers and sisters set a good setting. After winning a victory, here's what they did in verse 28. And let's go back up to verse 27. And even hardly blessed and praised the Elohim, who has saved them. They knew who saved them, who just like who saved us from this physical captivity, and they said, but we're still captured mentally and spiritually, and some physical opponents of it, who had chosen that day for the manifestation of his compassion, to express his compassion. In verse 28, when the Shabbat was over, they distributed some of the booty among the victims of the persecution. It's an ongoing persecution. And that's why the Most High said, look after the widows and the orphans. And they did. And the widows and the orphans, and the rest they divided among themselves and their children. They looked out for everybody. They didn't have brothers and sisters in that time say, hey, I got mine. Too bad in a chip. I got mine. You better get yours, trick. And that's how we talk now, because we've been socially engineered in our condition to speak down and belittle and insult and denigrate one another instead of lifting up, motivating, pushing, and loving on one another. We have been reduced to a mockery and a monstrosity as a result of our disassociating with the Most High and our lack of love for one another. In verse 29, they joined together. They gathered together in public supplication, imploring the merciful Yah to be fully reconciled with us. Yah, turn your back to us. We know you prophesied by way of those prophets, and it's come to fruition. Please turn back, even though the Most High shows some love in these regards. But that didn't fully happen. But the Most High loves us and has shown mercy toward us. But there will be a full transition after the last kingdom has been eradicated and done away. In verse 30, they also challenged the forces of Timothus and Bacchus, these two Greeks, and they destroyed over 20,000 of them, gaining possession of several high fortresses. They divided their enormous booty in two equal shares, one for themselves and the other to the victims of the persecution. And all, like I said, what the orphan, Most High keeps the orphan and the women, the homeless, always in the man, and not forgetting the aged, the elderly. Not like these brothers and sisters today. Man, that old fool better shut up. That old fool better sit down and get in the back. Oh, that woman, she got all them children. She need to go and get us some food stamp. Oh, old woman, she an orphan. She better get yours like I got mine. We were somewhat quite different then. Because you know why we were quite different then? because we love the Most High, even at this juncture, some of us, with all our heart, mind, soul, and our brothers and sisters, as I said, not reduced to a monstrosity and mockery now, where we hate anything that remotely looks like it, and we're willing to kill it, mistreat it, dominate, and so on and so forth. And you can't get that mindset. You can't be cemented in your relationship with your brothers and sisters unless you restore your relationship with the Elohim, and thus cement the relationship of love and compassion toward one another. In verse 31, they carefully collected the enemy's weapons and stored them in suitable places. The rest of the spoil they took to Jerusalem. They killed the tribal chief of Ptolemais. I don't know who this tribal chief of this Greek staff, but this man was an extremely wicked man who had done great harm to us. In verse 33, in the course of their victory celebration, our victory celebration in Jerusalem, that's why we don't need to be having no victory. We always want to have a celebration. And of course, their victory, because it ain't over. We want to have a celebration for this, celebration for that, celebration in the morning, celebration tonight, when ain't nothing over yet. We need to wait on these celebrations. And of course, their victory celebration in Jerusalem, they burned the men who had fired the holy gates, who had set the holy gates to fire. They burned these men. But Palestine, this individual, they had taken refuge in one house, this individual. So these received a fitting reward for their sacrifice against the city and the temple. In verse 30, that was 33. In verse 34, the triple-dyed scoundrel, he's triple dirty, the kindness is Greek, who had brought the 1,000 merchants to buy the Yehudites. He bought these men. Come on, man, we got some picking in there. We got some Negro. We got some so-called Black Lives Matter. They don't know who they are, but they knew who they were. But in the case of us, we have been reduced so much over the course of years and centuries that we finally don't know who we are. But they had people to buy us off. As in this captivity that brought us to these modern day captivities, universally speaking, where we are spread out all about. Finding in verse 35, finding himself with Yah's help humbled by men, Yehudas, humbled by men, Yehudas, he himself reckoned as a very little accord. He didn't want the all highfalutin, I'm something special. Stripped off his royal estate, made his way across country unoccupied, like a runaway slave. Where we hear that from? Reaching Antioch by a single stroke of fortune, only since the army had been destroyed. No, this is that fellow. No, it ain't Yehudas. This is that fellow, Nicanor, my correction, this Greek. Finding himself with Yah's help humbled by men. Yah helped it, just like he gonna do Donald Trump and the rest of them too. He had himself reckoned as a very little, I ain't nothing special, stripped off his royal robes of state, made his way across country occupied as a runaway slave, reaching Antioch by a singular stroke of fortune, since the army had been destroyed by us. And lastly, the 36th verse. Thus the man who had promised the Romans, they're next in line against us, to make good their tribute money by selling the prisoners from, like I said, brothers and sisters, this modern day captivity was not something of happenstance and a chance. It was part of the conspiracy, an ongoing conspiracy. Conspiracy are ongoing. The conspiracy socially engineer and condition you. Conspiracy program you to be exactly what you are, a mockery and a monstrosity, although you're precious in the eyes of the Most High. So he tried to utilize that tribute money to gain that tribute money by selling prisoners from Jerusalem, our brothers and sisters. But as a result, bore witness that the Yehudites had a defender, not Yehudas Maccabees per se, or Simeon and his brother, or Jonathan, and so on and so forth. And they were in consequence invulnerable. They couldn't be conquered. As a result, they had the Most High. They had him as their ally, since they followed the laws which the defender had ordained. The word of the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yehudas, his brothers, his fathers, they relied on the word of Yah. As Brother Khatri alluded to, there's going to be some of us, there's going to be many of us, simply just going to be renegades. They're going to be out there running their mouth off, don't know what they're talking about. They're going to be out there doing what they want to do, how they want to do it, and when they want to do it. They're going to be out there putting on rags on their head, talking about they own the block, and they don't own the block, and they don't own because these people can shut you down whenever they get ready. They're going to be out there killing, mistreating, and sometimes abusing us, our elderly, our widow women, our children, because they are not associated under the auspices of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They certainly have no love and or compassion for one another. They have been socially engineered and conditioned to be just that, a mockery. And you need the Most High as an ally on your side. You need to get to know him. You need to submit to him. You need to learn to love him with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And you need to learn to love your brothers and your sisters as yourself, instead of remotely hating anything that remotely looks anything like you and calling yourself a misnomer, black, a color, zero, gone, landmass, Black America. Ain't that a travesty? Praise Yah and bless his holy name. So this is how the format of this show going to continue. My Nisanya, my Isha, make a commentary if she so choose. Yochanan and his lovely Isha will make a comment if they so choose. My fellow elder and brother and friend on the council of elders, Brother Khatri, will conclude the comments. And we will proceed from those studies to the last studies in session, the book of Obadiah the prophet. Praise Yah. Nisanya, your mic is hot.
All praises. No, I have no commentary at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. Brother Yochanan and your lovely Isha, any commentaries in the comments?
I'm trying to get her to, she had a question, but she's trying to be shy.
Okay, no. Don't start that now. Don't start that now, sister.
I'm writing down. I'm writing down my points that I want to make.
Make your point.
Yeah.
So I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wait on you come back. And you keep them comments. You make them comments, okay? Thank you, Yochanan. Thank you, Yochanan's lovely Isha. Brother Khatri, you have the mic.
Yes, sir. All praise to the Holy One of Yisrael for another great lesson in our history. The Maccabees. We can see they had a semblance of knowledge, understanding, wisdom to hold it down when the Greek and the Roman Empire first started attacking our nation. They knew the codes. Call on Yah. No matter how big the battle is, how vast the enemy is, what kind of weapons they got, we got Yah. They got their weapons, we got Yah. They got manpower, we got Yah. And these brothers, Yehuda, Maccabees, and his brothers, they use what they call guerrilla warfare against these Greco-Roman universal white racist supremacists who were in their power. And just like then, the weapons that they have, that they pose against us are the same. We have no power against their weapons, save Yah our Elohim. And he gives us victory. They had the intent to destroy our nation at that time. Let's wipe all the tribe of Yehuda out. Let's wipe all of them out. But they knew what to do because they knew the codes. And they went back to the books. They went back to their roots and culture. And that's what our people need to do today, because that's the only power we got against those who conspire against us. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Thank you, Brother Khatri. Dear friend. Yochanan, is your Isha ready to put forth her comments, questions?
I am. He says I wasn't paying attention, but what I was over here doing while you all were talking, I was looking up because I don't know anything about the book of Maccabees. I'm not there yet, so I had to go and really understand what you all were actually talking about to be able to understand what you're speaking of now. And
Right.
So as I went back and I was reading and just kind of researching it, trying to figure out why would they take these books out of the Bible. So he didn't think I was paying attention, but I was. and just understanding how this small family went up against this big giant. And that's what I was explaining this earlier, that us, like you say, we try to attach ourselves to be Black Americans or whatever we are, but we are all Israelites, and we are in a foreign land. And that's why no matter what we do or what we try to attach ourselves to, whether it be religion, whether it be social groups, we're never satisfied. We're steady seeking. That's why you see people that one year they're a Muslim, and they go to prison and they become a Buddhist, and then they become a Christian, and then they want to be gay the next week, because they can't. They're searching to fit in with something that they'll never fit in with. So that's why I wasn't ignoring it. I was just trying to get a little bit of the history of who the Maccabees were.
My sister, you said a mouthful. I suspected that these people tried to keep it a secret because I suspected they didn't want to show the association by way of the prophets making the prophesize of it and what it looked like after the prophecy of it, and the connection where we could put these things together, put 1 and 2 together and come up with 1 and 1 together and come up with 2. They wanted to disassociate, disconnect it so they can bring something new in for you. And so they inserted something new for you because I expected they didn't want to show the Maccabees because of the fact of the prophecies, and to show the prophecies came to full effect, how it looked like on us. And in spite of that, the Most High still had love for us and compassion. Praise Yah. I think, did that answer your question, sister? Brother Cottrell can add some addition to that.
And then I have one.
I would like to add on to that before you go further with another question, because these books are hidden because what's being revealed. They don't want our people to know that we battled the annihilation of Yah's law, because that's what the book of Maccabees says, what the Greeks and the Romans did. They wanted to annihilate the law that Moshe gave us, the nation of Israel, the tribe of Yehuda, the last bastion of Yehuda who was trying to hold it down. No, they didn't have a king. The last king was King Zedekiah, who went to Babylon. Now we're reading about the history between the testaments, the Old Testament and the New Testament, when the Greeks took power and began to rearrange things with their writings and their authors, and they came up with the New Testament, taking from the writings of what we had, right? Because they all involved with Yehuda and battling Yehuda and all up in the temple and taking all the precious things in the temple. That's what gave them their power. And they didn't want us to know that. So that's why those books are hidden and taken away. But Yah has revealed, no, they're still there. And that's the beautiful thing about our people. We always documented our history, right? So they were right. They may not have been prophets, but they were always people who documented what was going on with our nation. Praise Yah.
And that was our weapons. We needed no guns, no knives. We had the word of the Most High, wisdom. That's how we fought.
And in those stories, it reinforces that, because the Maccabee, like she said, one single family, Judas Maccabees and his brothers, they put fear in the Greek and the Roman Empire to where they were making pacts with them. You understand? That's like, what Nat Turner did when he, initiated his revolts. He put fear in all these people. And we have the ability to do that when we have Yah on our side.
Praise Yah. When we don't, we're in a world of war.
Yah put us in this situation, Yam Suf. Yah made us a monstrosity. It ain't because of programming or social engineering or whatever they have put on us. Yah said this would happen to us. He told us we would be the tail, we would be scattered, we're going to take away our heritage, and we're a result of that. That's what we're seeing.
Yes.
It didn't quite happen in the time of Maccabee because they still had at least some attachment to their roots and culture. They knew their tribe, and they were fighting on their territory. We way far from our territory, and Yah put us on the bottom like he said he would do.
Yes, and by way of social engineering and conditioning. Yes, we did place ourselves in this situation, but our enemies helped to social engineering conditions. Praise Yah. Brother Yakanan.
That's another weapon that they use that we can overcome.
Exactly.
So
praise Yah. Thank you, Brother. Yes, ma'am.
That's a question that I was getting ready to ask. how do we overcome if we, our ancestors, and us too, we're keeping ourselves in captivity? We're when we're doing the best we can where we're at, but how do we resolve this? Do we patiently wait on y'all? Like, what am I supposed to be doing now?
Gathering
Individually?
all nations under Zion.
Individually, right? The
Exactly what
individual.
you're doing now, learning Yah's
Exactly.
word, learning
Yeah.
our history, learning our roots and our culture, so that you could do what? Teach your children our roots and our culture, right? Get your family together, teach
Okay.
them, right?
Fruitful, multiply.
And you have to be a master in the word of Yah and teaching your children and your family and your people. That's our mission.
That's each individual's contribution to the nation. Each individual will make that contribution to the nation, to the Most High. And then along with that, there are some constructive things that we must be doing as far as turning to the Most High, turning away from idolatry, as far as praying to the, crying out to the Most High and prayer to the Most High, for our ancient ones that got us along this path, for ourselves for keeping us along this path. And also by gathering ourselves together, not gathering ourselves together for the sake of just gathering ourselves together to praise and bless the Most High and do something constructive and positive with our times in these captivities.
And
also
to follow to his instructions that he gave us when you study what he told us to do, when you study his word.
Right.
Okay.
Along with that, he, as Cartier alluded to, he gives us instructions such as taking care of the widow and orphan, as the Maccabees did. Taking care of your homeless and needy. Simply taking care of it and learning to do good.
That's
A key component of all of it is for us to look inwardly at ourselves and check ourselves and conquer all the negativity, the impulses that we have, the negative desires that we have, the personal agendas that we have, and submit ourselves as service to the Most High. And that's a spiritual thing, because most of us of today have been socially programmed to be mental and physical, and we think that's going to get us over in life. And as we read these stories in our history, we see that our ancient fathers used the spiritual aspect, connecting with Yah, to overcome every adversity that they had, no matter how great or small that it was. And when we tune into Proverbs and the book of Psalms, which our kings provided for us, it teaches us how to conquer ourselves, because that's where it starts.
Praise
Your
Yah.
anger, your fears, your compulsions to steal, your compulsion to sleep with somebody else's wife. Proverbs and Psalms teaches us how to conquer all those impulses that we have as human beings. And if we don't study that along with Yah's word, then we're not on the path that we should be.
Right.
Yah.
That's
Wisdoms.
that is part of the reason why I got with Yakanan, because he taught me a lot of things that I never seen a problem with. But once he showed me, I kept asking and kept he kept saying, "You're not ready. You're not ready." You know, I guess he felt like I was gonna let him down.
They say once you go black, you never go back. Once you go, ain't
Stop
no
it,
changing
Yakanan.
back.
And
Once you
Stop
know
it,
the
Yakanan.
truth, ain't no turning
no,
back.
this is I'm telling you, I'm no lie. I was terrible. I mean,
Hey, sister. Hey, sister.
terrible.
Sister, just stop it. See, a lot of brothers and sisters, they got skeletons in their closet. Yamsu got the whole cemetery in their hills. I'm working on me. Okay? Yamsu got the whole
Amen.
cemetery. I ain't knocking nobody. Long as they're doing what the Most High said and they're doing it today, I'm good with
Yes.
that. Because
And you
Yamsu
said
trying to get the
something.
whole cemetery out of his closet.
He says something.
And
Once
you
you go
know what?
black, you never go back. Guess what? Yah gives
Yeah.
us choices. He puts life and death before us.
He does.
Once you hear Yah's
he does.
word, you're responsible. We're responsible as his
Back.
servant. Once you can't
And
just say,
that's
"Oh,
where
And that's what I was
Okay.
telling her.
that's where I'm at, because when I didn't know better, it wasn't a problem.
It wasn't a problem.
But once I knew better And I seen he wasn't, no matter how I tried to spin it to him, and I kept saying, no, you can do this and you can do, and he was like, like, no, you're messing with my morality, like, no. And I was just like, and eventually it made me start seeking the word of God. Like, instead of us driving around listening to the radio, we were driving around listening to the word of God.
Actually, it was your show, the other show on the radio.
Oh, okay.
Real talk for real people.
Oh, okay.
We used to
All
ride
right.
around
Praise y'all
listening to
for that. Praise y'all. We were contributors in that.
And Yah's great. When
Yes.
you seek Yah with all your heart, soul, and might, you're gonna find him. He's gonna show you.
You will find him.
Teachers
But you
that
gotta
are-
be ready.
You gotta be
You
real.
have to be ready once you
Gotta be
find
real.
him, because if you find him and you try to go back,
Oh,
you
no.
can't. Like, I literally could not go back to doing it, even if you pay me to. I just,
better.
I would be like,
Mhm.
I just can't.
Oops.
I can't physically. I can't mentally. I can't spiritually do this
Right.
anymore. And it's caused me to look at things within myself.
Right.
So, like, I've been polygamous the majority of my whole adult life.
Mm-hmm.
And, Yakanan kept saying, yeah, I could take another wife, but nah, like, he just really, really wasn't with it.
Right.
And it just, for the first time in my life,
And you
I
see
had
what
to
happened.
trust.
Right.
Yes. And so he kept telling me, but I was hard-headed.
Right.
And then the bad things happened. But I had to trust him enough in my life to say, okay, I'm going to be in a monogamous relationship with this man. And
Right.
I'm going to trust him that he is not going to abandon me. I'm going to put my all into him. I'm going to let him lead me. I'm going to let him show me what I'm supposed to do. I've never been anybody's wife. I never even really been anybody's girlfriend past 2 weeks.
Right.
I had no idea. He had to, basically, I'm 46 years old. He teach me how to cook. Now, I knew how to clean up and take care of kids, but
Right.
I wasn't doing, well, I let my kids, we got rules here now. We got structure now.
Right.
But I will say this, that I had to seek the word of God to realize, hey, April, we're in different times now. This is not right. I don't care how you try to spin it. So I'm very thankful that you all are here and you all are teaching, and it's a language that I understand.
Praise y'all.
Because you can read the Bible all day long, but if you don't understand it, it's nothing.
You know what, my dear sister? Here's the problem with some brothers and some sisters. When they wake up and realize that they're Hebrew Israelites, they want to conform just to the physical components, not understand the dynamics of polygamy. When a brother has multiple wives, he's able to provide for them. She ain't got to get no food stamps. She ain't got to get a job. He's supposed to be able to provide for that wife. And see, I got enough hand with Nasanya to worry about some other woman, okay? Because Nasanya hit hard, so I don't want no problem. Look here. I need to focus all my attention on sharing the Most High word. I don't need Nasanya swinging at me, okay? I'm like Auburn. I'm like Auburn. Yeah, whatever Sarah wrote, she got it. Whatever Nasanya wants, she got it. I don't need no problems.
And everything that Yah tells us to do comes with codes. He doesn't oppose polygamy like you said, but it comes with codes. You got to provide for your wives, and
that's what I said.
Yeah, we're supposed to have our own handmaids, everything. We're not supposed
let me tell you this.
Yes.
Once you
and
find
it has
Yah,
to be an agreement. Everybody has to be in agreement.
Exactly.
We can't have a husband that's following Yah and I'm over here wanting to be indulging in homosexuality, and like he wasn't going for that.
Exactly.
And so I just had to be honest with myself and say, now I get jealous. Now I act out sometimes, like not
all
physically.
All the
but
time.
now I'm like, this is mine.
She hit hard. Young Nun, she hit hard, right?
I'm afraid to talk. I might get popped.
Listen, it's all about family, the foundation
Right.
of family.
Family.
And sometimes men married women who weren't capable of having children in ancient times. And therefore they took on other wives, just like our father Abraham. He was married to Sarah for a long time. And Sarah felt the need to like say, yo, listen, I can't have children, but you could, marry Hagar and have children with her so that you don't
And she
get
got
cut
mad.
off with your seed. But everything comes with emotions and feelings, which is why Psalms and Proverbs are so important, because we need to keep our feelings and emotions in check when we're trying to do the right thing
Yes.
before the Most High Yah. And our people are very emotional, but we don't know how to put our emotions in check. And when we learn to put our emotion in check, that's when we're on the path to humility. Because trust me, Moshe could have been angry with his people when he brought them out of Mizraim because they didn't understand. And that's what our people lack, understanding. But you can't be angry with our people because they lack understanding. Because you have higher understanding, you have to help them to understand on the level that you're on and not, try to set yourself apart and think that we're different because we're all in this together. We're all in this together. We have to lift our people up to the same level. We serve Yah, and our service to Yah is critical on planet Earth because that's where he wants to dwell. He don't want human beings dwelling in heaven like church tries to teach us. You go into the pearly gates, you're gonna meet God and the angels. Oh no, that's not what's happening. Yah designed the earth so he could walk with mankind. And mankind, unfortunately, he said, it grieves me that I made man because man is evil. He's wicked. And Yah don't dwell with the wicked and those who don't obey him. So we were selected, chosen to be serving Yah so that he could dwell on earth. In particular, in Jerusalem, on Mount Zion.
And may I add, and we got to proceed forward, and sister, you can finish your commentaries and so on.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay, thank you, sister.
I'm done.
Several key components for us polygamy is concerned. Number one, we were in our land. Number two is about hereditary processes within our land. And number three, you could provide for that woman. She didn't have to get food stamps. She didn't have to live. She didn't have to get a job and so on and so forth. You were able to provide for that woman. And we're in number four, most importantly, we're in captivity. Praise Yah. So without further ado, let us proceed forward to the last segment of study in the book of Obadiah by Brother Cottrell. Praise Yah. Thank you, sister. Good questions, good commentary. Thank you, Yochanan, for not getting hit in the eye.
All praise to the Holy One, Yisrael. Brothers can't even afford dowries these days.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't even know what a dowry is.
That's what I'm saying.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Thank you. Thank you, Cottrell. Thank you so much for making that commentary. Praise Yah. You
All
can
praise to
proceed.
the Holy One of Yisrael for the great prophet Obadiah. And Obadiah is what we should be, servants of Yah. That's what his name means. Obadiah the prophet was a servant of Yah. And his prophecies about our brother Edom. We say Esau, but Esau was his nickname, right? Or Edom was his nickname. Esau was his name. And Yah is talking about the relationship between brothers. This is harsh criticism because the way Edom treated Yaakov, or the nation of Edom, treated the nation of Israel. But how do we treat each other? Because we're brothers, and we don't treat each other any better than Edom treated Jacob. So we should pay attention to the relationship between brothers and how vital it is. In the book of Obadiah, Yah's anger towards Edom for what he did to his brother. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
The vision of Obadiah. This is what Yah Elohim says concerning Edom. We have heard a report from Yah, and a messenger has been sent among the nations, saying, arise, let us go up against her to battle, for battle. Behold, I will make you small among the nations. Now, why would Yah call for the nations to do that against our brother Edom? Well, if you go to the book of Psalms, the 83rd Psalm, we talked about conspiracies. We can see that our brother Edom was the head of the conspiracy to destroy us as a nation. Now Yah puts upon Edom his own, they say, you reap what you sow. So he put the nations against us. Yah's going to put the nations against him. Yah says, the arrogance of your heart has deceived you. The one who lives in the clefts of the rock on the heights of his dwelling place, who says in his heart, who will bring me down to earth? Though you make your home high like the eagle, though you set your nest among the stars, from there I will bring you down, declares Yah. And there's a lot being said in that 4th verse. Though you make your home high like the eagle, and all these empires, what's their symbol? What is their national symbol? What's America's national symbol? Bald eagle. Though you set your nest among the stars. Okay, maybe they do have bases on the moon. Maybe they do have bases on Mars. They're shooting rockets up there, right? We don't know. They won't tell us. Yah says, even though you're up there, he says, from there, I'll bring you down. He doesn't just say it, he declares it. If thieves came to you, if robbers by night, oh, how you will be ruined. Would they not steal only until they had enough? If grape pickers came to you, would they not leave some gleanings? Oh, how Esau will be searched and his hidden treasures searched out. All the people aligned with you will send you to the border. If you read the 83rd Psalm, Yah's talking about that conspiracy with Ishmael and Moab and Ammon and the Philistines and Tyr, who conspired against us to destroy us as a nation. These are the people that they allied with, United States and Britain and everybody that's holding them down to divide up our land. And they're at the border right now, right? The nation of Israel today is at the border with surrounded by many enemies, Ishmael. And the people at peace with you will deceive you and overpower you. They've never come to a peace treaty in the Middle East as of yet. They who eat your bread will set an ambush for you because you're the enemy of all these people because they know you're not the true house of Israel. There is no understanding in him. Will I not on that day, declares Yah, eliminate wise men from Edom? And we've seen that today. Benjamin Netanyahu, he's not too wise. And he don't have a strategy to get them out of the situation that they're in now. And understanding from the mountains of Esau. Yep. The Jewish people are considered the wisest people, the smartest people. They're the lawyers, the doctors, the engineers, and they're renowned for their wisdom. But actually, they're bringing all mankind to the brink of destruction. It says, then your warriors will be filled with terror, Timon, so that everyone will be eliminated from the mountain of Esau by murder. Because of the violence, why is all this coming upon our brother Esau? Because of the violence to your brother Yaakov. Shame will cover you, and you will be eliminated forever. That's the word of Yah. On the day that you stood aloof, on the day that strangers carried off his wealth. Our wealth has been carried off by strangers, y'all. And foreigners entered into his gates. Strangers are in our gates, y'all. And cast lots for Jerusalem, which we're reading about in the book of Maccabees. Cast lots, yeah. We're going to divide it up, take the treasure of the temple and everything, and make the people our servants. You too were as one of them. Our brother Esau was right there, the Edomites. Do not gloat over your brother's day, the day of his misfortune, and do not rejoice over the sons of Yehuda on the day of their destruction. Yes, do not boast on the day of their distress, which he did. Do not enter into the gates of my people, which he did, on the day of their disaster. You indeed do not gloat over their catastrophe on the day of their disaster, and do not lay a hand on their wealth, which he did, on the day of their disaster. Do not stand at the crossroads to eliminate their survivors, and do not hand over their refugees on the day of their distress. This book reads quite different from most scriptures. I don't know why my computer got this particular version of the scriptures up, but most scripture says that he did all these things. Yasu,
Yes, I'm here.
can you read from 10 to 14 what your book says?
Okay, bear with me 1 second. 10 to 14. For violence against your brother Yaqub, shame shall cover you. You shall be cut off forever.
Mm.
And the day that you stood on the other side, it wasn't with us. On the day that strangers carried captives his forces, when foreigners entered his gate, you were there, so to speak, and cast lots for Jerusalem. Even you were one of them. You were part of this conspiracy. But you should not have gazed on that your brother. You should not have gazed on your brother. You should have did that in the day of his captivity. Nor shall you rejoice over the children of Yehuda in the day of their destruction. Nor should you have spoken proudly in the day of distress. You shall not have entered the gate of my people. Shouldn't have been there. Went there, the day of their calamity. Indeed, you should not have gazed on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. You should not have stood at the crossroads to cut off those among them who had escaped, nor should you have delivered up those among them, us, who remain in the day of distress. Shouldn't have took part, but you're finna pay for it, though. One of these days you're gonna pay for it, praise y'all. Go ahead, Brother Carter.
So your book read a lot different than mine, right?
Exactly.
But that's how they twist things up and manipulate people's minds. I don't know why my computer's on the New American Standard Bible, but mine is coming from the New American Standard Bible.
Exactly.
But from 15, it says, for the day of Yah is near for all nations. How many of us know about that? The day of Yah for all nations, the day of judgment. And he says, just as you have done, it will be done to you. In other words, you reap what you sow. Whatever nation you come from, you reap what you sow. Your dealings will be returned on your own head. So are you doing right, or are you doing wickedness in Yah's creation? No matter what nation you come from. But just as you drank on my holy mountain, which they're doing today, all the nations will drink continually. They will drink to the last drop and become as if they had never existed. What they drinking from the cup of fury, which we've been drinking from for the last, I don't know how many thousand years, the house of Israel, the nation of Israel. We've been cut off from our land. But on Mount Zion, which I spoke about earlier, where Yah wants to dwell, not in heaven, there will be those who escape. Are you going to be there? Because we ain't none of us going to heaven. And it will be holy. Why will it be holy? Because Yah's presence is going to be there. That's why it's going to be holy. And the house of Yaakov will possess their property. Ain't that what we want to do? Oh, I don't know, because we ain't never been home. We think America and all the places we've been scattered to is our home. No, we have our own property. Then the house of Yaakov will be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. But the house of Esau will be like stubble, and they will set them on fire and consume them. Y'all gonna turn the table, so that there will be no survivor of the house of Esau. And why is that? Because Yah, when you bring somebody to judgment, like Esau tried to do us, cut us off from being a nation, that the name of Israel will be no more. You wanted that for us? No, that's what's going to happen to you. For Yah has spoken. This ain't me. This is what Yah said. Then those of the Negev will possess the mountain of Esau, and those of the Sephila, the Philistine plain. Also, they will possess the territory of Ephraim and the territory of Sumeria. We're talking about what the 10 tribes possess, the 10 northern tribes that were the northern kingdom. And Benjamin, the territory of Gilead. Benjamin was separate from the territory of Samaria and from the 10 tribes. when he was hooked up with the tribe of Yehuda and the remnants of Levi. And the exile of this army of the sons of Israel, who are among the Canaanites as far as the Rephath, the exiles of Jerusalem, who are in Shapharad, will possess the cities of the Negev. The deliverers will ascend Mount Zion to judge the mountain of Esau, and the kingdom will be Yah's. So we see how the kingdom's coming in. Y'all gonna bring judgment to the nations. In particular, our brother Esau, Edom, who spearheaded the conspiracy to eliminate us as a nation, to put their hands on our inheritance, to divide up our land, and to raise himself up with the pride that he has and not think that the Most High is going to bring judgment upon him. So they don't talk about the book of Obadiah, but it's right here, and they should be aware. Praise Yah.
Praise y'all. Thank you, Brother Cottrell. Thank you, fellow students. I'm going to ask the panel to make comment. To me, for as of what Brother Cottrell has just shared, and he said it's self-explanatory by virtue of my studies and by virtue of wisdom and understanding. It's self-explanatory as far as Edom is concerned. The so-called Jews, a derivative of a name Yehudite, does not represent a whole nation of 13 tribes, who were all brought back together. Not just one tribe is to be brought back into our land, but the whole 13 tribes ought to be brought back together in unison in our land. So you know something is amiss in that regard. Praise y'all. And the fact of the matter is this. There was two nations born into our sister's room, right, y'all? There was two nations who are combating against each other in a spiritual contest. And only one will come out ahead, and that's the real heritage of that tribe, the tribe of Yaqub, the nation under Yaqub, one of our elders of the nation. So it's been a pleasure. It's been profitable. It's been enlightening as far as the studies of the Elohim is concerned. So I want to ask my Esau and Nasanya, do she have any comments or closing remarks as we prepare to leave for the night? Nasanya, your mic is open.
Thank you very much. I have one comment, and it's just a question. Okay, Esau. Today, in this time, who is considered Esau?
Brother Cottrell, by all means, answer Nasanya's question.
That's kind of a difficult question because they've hidden themselves. There's no more nation of Esau or the nation of Moab or the nation of Ammon or the Canaanites or the Philistines. Like us, those names are gone from ancient times, right?
Right.
But as we read the book of Maccabees, we could see that they were right there when Yehuda was dominant in the land of Yehuda. When the Greeks attacked us, Esau, our brother, took over that land, and he made alliances with the Greeks and the Romans. And those alliances, they married into the Greeks and the Romans, and he was already red. Him marrying into the European peoples on a large scale bleached him out. Like we look like Hamites. You can't tell the difference between Israelites and what they call Egyptians or Mizraim. Joseph's brothers thought that Joseph was an Egyptian only because, you know, we mingled in with the Hamite people. So our brother Esau mingled in with the Greeks and the Romans, and they know who he is by his distinct look that he has amongst them. So that's my hypothesis of what happened to them. They're not actually fully Shemitic anymore like they used to be. Right. They married into the Japhetic people. And through that, they rule the world. Through them marrying the Greeks and the Roman, they have their power. They sit in the fat places of the earth, like Obadiah said. They make their nest among the stars. It's the Jewish people that's running universal white race supremacy.
Yes. Okay.
Praise y'all. Lasagna, great question.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
Esau.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Yakanan and your lovely Esau.
I just want to say before you
Yes,
comment,
yes.
a lot of our brothers and sisters get in trouble for making that statement that the Jews run everything, media,
Yep.
banks.
Yep.
But it's true.
Most definitely.
Kanye
Well,
West did it. He said
the evidence speaks for
they
itself.
took his money.
The evidence speaks for itself. So thank you, Brother Cartriel. Yakanan and your lovely Esau. Any questions?
Okay, I will. Yes, yes. I like what Katria was saying about how they hide it in the language in these different translations. Like verse 15 say, "For the day of Yah is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee." Now you take the heathen, which only means not Jew, not Yahuda back then, but now they'll take it like, okay, well, this is our Christian book, so that means a heathen is a non-Christian, and this is how you get lost in translations.
Exactly.
Point that
Exactly, Yakanan. Great point.
And my book reads something like different as well.
What does it say?
out. Exactly.
What's your book say?
15 goes into mine didn't mention 15 starts off as you did, so shall it be done to you. Your conduct shall be requited. Yea, against the nations. Mine's just said nations. It didn't even say heathen.
But all of it talks about karma, right? What you've done is going to happen to you, right?
To you, yeah.
That's the law of karma. That's the law of Yah.
Mhm.
Done wickedly, wickedness is going to catch up with you. If you've done righteously, then you're on the right path.
Hallelujah. Yakanan, do your Esau have any
Hallelujah.
questions and closing remarks?
She got the head nod.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess she's got her mind in meditations.
Yeah.
And she should. Yes, she should. What's that, sister?
I was looking at our cat. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
We have
Okay.
a little kitten. We have a
I
little
think
kitten.
she's overloaded.
Okay.
I'm over here reading. I was actually reading about. No, I was actually reading about Esau, and so
Okay.
when Sister Nasanya brought it up, that's what I was actually reading about. Like I said, while you all are talking, I'm going back reading, because I need to understand what you all are actually speaking of.
So what did you find out about Esau?
Oh, I was trying to figure out who Jacob and Esau, and then I found out they were twins.
Yes.
And how they were both fighting for favor. One found favor with the father, and one found favor with the mother. And that's kind of where yes, and so that's where I'm reading now.
I'll give it to her in a minute.
Doing that thing. They started in the womb.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, and the battle is still going on, but we don't realize
Yes.
we're in the battle. Our people don't realize we're in a battle with our brother Esau.
Ongoing battle, part of the conspiracy. Sister, you're doing a wonderful job by virtue of this study. As my Esau, Sister Nasanya. Brother Cartier always do a great job, and Yakanan is, as always, do a great job. And we've been humbly honored to bring to you Yah's word by virtue of these studies. Praise the Most High and bless His holy name. So without further ado, before we say our shaloms and good nights for the night, Brother Cottrell and I, we are elders on the council of the nation in captivity. And as such, we're duty-bound and morally obligated in this regard to bring to you Yah's word before we close out by virtue of the charter of the nation while in captivity and the constitution of the nation while in captivity. And after that, we'll be closing out and sharing our love with you. And I will proceed as far as the chart is concerned. Chapter 5. Miscellaneous provisions on the charter. Attendance at meetings of the permanent organs of the United Nations of Israel or at conferences and meetings provided for in the charter are held under the auspices of the nation shall be in accordance with multilateral character of the aforesaid organs. Conferences and meetings shall not depend on the bilateral relation between the government of any member state and the government of the host country. Article 41. United Nations of Israel shall enjoy in the territory of each member such legal capacity, privileges, and immunities are as necessary for the exercise of its functions, accomplishments of its purposes. Article 42. The representatives of the member state on the organs of the nation, the personnel of their delegation, as well as any executive council of elders shall enjoy the privileges and immunities corresponding to their position and necessary for the independent performance of their duty. Chapter 6. Ratification and entry into force. Article 43. The present charter shall remain open for signature by the potential members and citizens of the United States of Israel, shall be ratified in accordance with the nation's constitutional procedures. The original instrument, the Hebrew, Spanish, and English and French texts of which are equally authentic, shall be deposited with the Executive Council of Elders, which shall transmit certified copies thereof to the potential members and citizens for purposes of ratification. The instruments of ratification shall be deposited with the Executive Council of Elders, which shall notify the signatory members and citizens of such deposit. Article 44. The present charter shall enter into force in accordance with the ratification procedures outlined in Article 55 of the Constitution. Last, for the night, in regards to the charter, Article 45. The present charter shall be put on record with numerous domestic and international organizations to include, not limited to, the State Department of the United States of America, the General Secretariat and Secretary Council of the United Nations, through the General Secretariat. That concludes the study on the charter for tonight. And I will pick up tomorrow, but let me present the Constitution. Parts of the Article 47, election. Election of judges and state officials shall be transacted in closed election format, whereby by all votes shall be made in private, counted in private. Article 48, the compatibility of function. Foreigner shall not serve as judge or perform any public function if he is not a citizen of Hebrew Israelite descent. Article 49, competencies. The Council of Elders shall determine and conduct interior and foreign policy. Number 2, enact and execute laws and other regulations necessary for the enforcement of the Torah. Number 3, propose developmental plan, budget, and annual balance sheet of the nation. Number 4, determine organization and matter work of the Council of Elders. Number 5, perform supervision over work of administration and authorities. Number 6, exact decrees and exactment during a state of emergency in the event of an imminent war of danger or in the event of a state of war. Number 8, perform tasks are prescribed by Torah and the Constitution. Article 50, public trials. Trials before the Council of Elders shall be public, not no hidden agenda, not no sneaky peek, not no, I got nepotism, I got my crew. In exceptional cases, only the Council of Elders may decide that the public shall not be allowed to attend a trial or any part thereof. Not one council, not a head council, not a wannabe king council, not a wannabe king elder. Article 51, it concludes studies for the night on the Constitution. I'll take up tomorrow. Permanent function. Judges shall have life tenure. Praise the Most High. I'll take up tomorrow constitutionality and legality as far as the Constitution is concerned. Praise the Most High. So without further ado, Brother Yochanan and his Esau have done their due diligence, more obligations as members of the nation to provide comments and our commentaries to make their presence known. My Esau, Sister Nasanya, has done her due diligence as the administrator of the show, offered her great comments and great opinions as far as the most, not opinions, but a great comments as far as the Most High is concerned, and a contribution for that part. Praise the Most High. As far as my brother and dear friend, an equal component in the verses of these studies that we brought to you by way of the Real Talk for Real People study show. I've been humbly honored to be in association with him as the presentation of these studies are concerned. And as far as that is concerned, Brother Cottrell and I, as elders and as elders on the council, we've done our due diligence, as all elders should do, not only on the council, but universally speaking. Take charge and take control. Lead, follow, or get out the way and let someone else lead, follow, and be in the way as far as the Most High is concerned. Praise the Most High. We've been duty-bound and morally obligated to do no less in this regard. We know, Brother Cottrell and I, simply gathering oneself together is not enough. But gathering oneself under the auspices and mandates of the Most High takes organization, takes transition, takes action. Not simply, I'm gathered together, I'm going to sit here and eat me some cherries. I'm going to sit here and eat me a peach. I'm going to sit here and eat me a pie. I'm not going to put in no work. You have to put in work. And it's just that simple. And lastly, Brother Cottrell and I, we've done our due diligence as elders, all elders should do, especially elders on the council. We've been humbly honored and gratified for our nation because our love of the Most High and loving him with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and our brothers and sisters of thyself. But it's incumbent upon you. Cottrell and I, we can do no more in this regard. Yochanan and Nasanya and his lovely Esau can't do any more in this regard. You have to take it upon yourself to initiate some actions. Meditate on the Most High Word. Let the Most High Word be your pathways by virtue of these studies. Let the Most High Word give you wisdom and understanding. Let the Most High Word enlighten you and give you some perspective. Let the Most High Word free your mind, and simply said, the rest will follow. And the Most High Word is going to work in spite of us, or irregardless of us. But it's much more beneficial for all of us if we utilize it personally. Because the Most High Word works for you personally and individual if you work it, you utilize it, and you activate it. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. Nisanya, any closing remarks or comments before your good nights?
I have one. I wanted to add, it wasn't a thing. I wanted to know that during not during the show, but maybe at the end of the show, or maybe sometime, is there any way that we can possibly start introducing our Hebrew language, the words or something like into the show, so that we can, kind of be a little bit more, with our Hebrew, with our language as that we can speak some of our language, some of our words, so we can kind of make some sentences and things.
Great question, Sister Nasanya Esau. I certainly would ask Brother Cottrell. He's a student of the Hebrew language, that he would bring a word for the day in Hebrew. If he would,
Yes.
he would mind bringing a word in Hebrew, so we can have some understanding. I would ask him, and that's all I can do. I don't know what his response was. He will share with you probably when he come on. Thank you, Esau.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a great question. Brother Yochanan and your lovely Esau, your closing remarks and the comments.
Just want to give thanks and praises for our strength and health to carry on.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for the word. Shalom.
Good night, little sister. Thank you. Good night, Yochanan. And thank you for listening to the word. Brother Cottrell, your closing remarks and the comments.
Unmute.
Yeah, Cottrell. Cottrell, hit your mic, brother. Open your mic up.
I'm sorry. All praise to the Holy One of Israel. for another opportunity to share his word with the world, to our family, to our nation. And as to our Sister Nasanya's question in regards to the Ivrit, the Hebrew language, I've been dropping little, Hebrew words defining the
Yes.
prophet's name. Obadiah means the servant of Yah, but we could amp it up. Most definitely.
I noticed that. Yes, I've noticed the little when you say certain Hebrew words, names, and things, and how you also Isaac, Iscott, and I was just wondering, can we get a little bit more so we can have a better dialect? I just want to be a little bit more bilingual with my language, our language.
Yes. To study the Hebrew language is like a whole another section of study we have to do. But I will bring up words that are critical, be'ivrit in Hebrew that we need to know.
Crank it up, brother. Crank it up.
Crank it up.
Crank it up.
Yeah. We all need to crank up, all of our study, because every time period has a mission for our people. When we read about the book of Maccabees, those weren't elders like Yam Suf and myself leading those people. Those are young men that knew the codes, and they probably had a constitution and a charter that kept them in line while they were under duress as well. Because we could see they always referred back to the Torah, which we're doing now. But we as elders of today have the responsibility to wake our people up, teach them, and to play the roles that they should be playing, that they can play. They have the ability to play, but they need to know that these roles are there for them to play. Praise Yah. And may the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart be acceptable to our Creator, our Father, our King. May bring peace between us while we're absent one from another. All praise to the Holy One of Israel.
All praise. Thank you, my dear brother and friend and fellow elder and elder on the council for closing out. We love you. We love all of you. And may the Most High bless you. Shalom and good night.
Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord who exercise mercy, justice, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord.
Too young to speak, too young to teach, too afraid to speak to the world. Father's calling me to say these words, but my brothers wanna kill me, brothers wanna kill me. Too young to speak, too young to teach, too afraid to speak to the world. Father's calling me to say these words, but my brothers wanna kill me, brothers wanna kill me. Oh, son of Hilkiah, prophesy with open eyes, speak to all the peoples. Tell the princes and the priests, stop ripping off the peoples every time they speak. I said, oh Yehovah, I cannot speak, for I'm a little child. He said, say not, I'm a child. Suck it up, I'm with you now. He took his words and touched my mouth with his hands. I will order my judgments against them, touching all the wickedness in this land. Thus saith Yehovah, the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Amend your ways and your doing, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. If you thoroughly execute justice between a man and his neighbor in each case. If you will not oppress the poor and not shed innocent blood in this place. But the elders wouldn't hearken, they forsook his word. Each man had his own plan. The strong crushed the weak and withheld all the goodness of their hands. And I've been thrown in jail and chastised by the priests. The princes want to see me dead, the peoples want to see me burn. The evil is here. Too young to speak, too young to teach, too afraid to speak to the world. God is calling me to say these words, but my brothers want to kill me, brothers want to kill me. Behold, I will bring all the evil upon them, crushing them. For the words which they forsook, for the poor they've overlooked, for the dishonest gain they took. Now we will see if they're able to save themselves. Brace yourself, for Jehovah is coming to judge. Now he who bore that grudge and he who coveted his neighbor's stuff will die. Now they cry unto me, begging me mercy, Lord. But when they judge, they have no mercy, only the sword. Jeremiah, Jeremiah, why do you cry? Why do you cry for them? 'Cause brother hates sister, and the enemies of a man are his friends. But they do not want to keep my laws. They don't even comprehend that loving your neighbor as thyself will make you to understand. Oh, you're on my king, when shall it be that brothers will learn to love? And sisters will come together. Stop talking about one another. We gotta love each other. Oh, why? It seems they chose to die. It seems they don't wanna hearken to the words that came from the Most High. My wrath will wax out against my people who chose to forsake my name. Only then will the remnant return, when they realize to change their ways. Too young to speak, too young to teach, too afraid to speak to the world. Father's calling me to say these words, but my brothers wanna kill me, brothers wanna kill me. Too young to speak, too young to teach, too afraid to speak to the world. Father's calling me to say these words, but my brothers wanna kill me, brothers wanna kill me.